You know, if Republicans keep standing up for themselves, if they actually start not being the habitual pushovers that most of us have become completely accustomed to seeing, the liberal media, they're going to have to stop inviting them on their program. And I have to wonder if they do that, if any of the victims of these networks would even notice that only friendly fellow propagandists come on anymore. My guess is that no, they wouldn't. But here's where we're at. The smarter Republicans, people like Marco Rubio, Josh Hawley, Tom Cotton, Elise Stefanik, those folks are done playing games with these state-approved hacks. And Marco Rubio just went on Meet the Press last weekend, and he shot back so hard that they had to end the interview early.
Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter what happens, Senator?
No matter what happens? No, if it's an unfair election, I think it's going to be contested by either side.
Senator, no matter who wins.
I think you're asking the wrong person. The Democrats are the ones that have opposed every Republican victory since 2000. Every single one. It's Hillary Clinton.
No Democrat has refused to concede. Hillary Clinton conceded. Senator, will you accept the election results?
Hillary Clinton said the election was stolen from her and that Trump was illegitimate. Kamala Harris agreed.
Senator,
we have Democrats now.
Senator, she conceded the election. She said that Trump was illegitimate. She said that the election had been stolen. Kamala Harris agreed. By the way, there are Democrats serving in Congress today who in 2004 voted not to certify the Ohio electors because they said those machines had been tampered with. And you have Democrats now saying they won't certify 2024 because Trump is an insurrectionist and ineligible to hold office. So you need to ask them. I think have you ever asked a Democrat this question on your show? I bet you've never asked a Democrat that question.
There is zero chance that she would ever ask a Democrat that question. I mean, the truth is she probably wouldn't even think to ask a Democrat that question. I mean, earlier she said Hillary conceded the election, even though Hillary to this day will tell you that the election was stolen, that Trump is a Russian plant, and he was an illegitimate president from the very start. So if that's conceding, then by that exact same measurement, then Donald Trump conceded as well, right? I mean, the guy that they tell you that if he ever gets anywhere near the White House again, he'll never leave. He actually left. And of course he left because all this is fantasy. This is all made up. But back to the point. No, she will never, ever ask a Democrat that question. And there will be Democrats who absolutely refuse to accept a Trump victory. I mean, they're already planting the seeds of Russia. Russia, again, is going to meddle in our elections to get rid of feckless leadership, right? And just do the math. How does that even make sense to these people? What evil nation that plans to take advantage of the United States would ever work against Joe Biden? Joe Biden is an enemy's freaking wet dream. But this is what they're selling.
I do have to ask you about Russia. Do you think they're going to intervene in our election again? Do you worry about that? Do you worry?
They're already intervening in our election. I mean, that is happening now. And others probably are also engaged in that. It's going to be absolutely critical that you all in the media help the American people writ large to be able to understand the disinformation and what is happening. It is really at a level that is deeply, deeply disturbing.
Here's all this is, man. When the Democrats lose, it's going to be 2016 all over again. It's going to be Russia or China or who knows who it's going to be, right? Someone else will be responsible for a Democrat loss. It won't be record homelessness. That won't be to blame. It won't be record illegal immigration to blame. It won't be rising crime. It won't be any of the things that are real. The Democrats have absolutely screwed up in every single possible way. It won't be any of that. It'll be some evil foreign nation manipulating our elections. And I mean, it's so ridiculous to even say, right? But honestly, I don't know how Republicans are missing this opportunity to push ID verified voting on paper ballots in person. If we want to stop the Russians, that is the only way. Vote in person, vote on paper, have an ID. Let's stop the Russians together, right? I mean, that's the only way. But that's where we're at, man. I mean, if Trump wins, it's a crime. If Biden wins, it'll be the second consecutive most secure election in history. And I'll keep going, guys, but please help the channel continue to grow. Hit the like button. It really, really, really does mean a lot.
Question.
Senator, you voted to certify the 2020 election, and here is what you said on that day that you voted to certify the 2020 election.
Yeah. Democracy is held together by people's confidence in the election and their willingness to abide by its results.
So by your own definition, are Donald Trump's claims undermining Americans' confidence in democracy, given that he has not conceded the last election and he just said in recent days twice that he won Minnesota, Senator? I think what undermines people's confidence in the election is when you have places like Wisconsin with over 500 illegal drop box locations, when you have places like Georgia where liberal groups are paying people $10 per vote. No, but listen, what undermines elections is when NBC News and every major news outlet in America in 2020 censored the Biden laptop story, which turned out to be true, not Russian misinformation, unprecedented. Only you couldn't even talk about it on social media. They would deplatform you. People look at all this. They look at what happened in Arizona, 200,000 ballots that had the signatures didn't match. Senator, people will lose confidence, and it opens the door to this.
I have to jump in here. Senator, you voted to certify the election, and
because at that stage in the process, you have no options.
Senator, you voted to certify the election. Nothing has been censored on this program. Hillary Clinton
did you guys cover the laptop for Joe Biden in 2020?
Absolutely, we covered the laptop.
It was banned. You couldn't even talk about it in social media.
Chris Krebs, the top
you couldn't
election
talk about
official,
it in social media. It'd be deplatformed. You couldn't even talk about it because they said it was Russian disinformation.
Senator Rubio,
voters in many cases didn't even hear about it because it was blacked out by the media.
We did cover the election, and just to note that Chris Krebs, who was a top Trump election official, called it the safest and most secure election in recent history. Senator Rubio, we are out of time.
Of course we are, but I'm telling you that if it's unfair, we are going to do the same thing Democrats do. We're going to use lawyers to go to court and point out the fact that states are not following their own election laws.
But the Democrats,
hopefully we'll have a fair election, and it'll be
Senator, all those cases were brought to court cases and lost, and there was no proof that there was any widespread fraud, as you know. But I appreciate.
I never used the word widespread fraud.
I'm sorry. All right, Senator Rubio, thank you very much. I appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, she had enough, man. And here's the thing, man. He's perfectly respectful, perfectly factual. He just refuses to play their ridiculous game. And that's how it's done, man. I mean, I wish that all politicians were intelligent enough to just stand up for themselves with actual fact, with actual common sense, with actual reason. And I think that, there are some. If we made a list of the ones that are even remotely capable of it, I think we'd find they would be conservative, right? And I think there's a simple reason why. The truth is told pretty easily. I mean, just like in this clip, when you hear someone telling the truth, when you hear someone relying on simple common sense and reason, it just goes down easy, man. And honestly, it's the only way to answer such a stupid question. She asked him, will you accept the outcome of the election no matter what? No matter what. And what does that even mean, no matter what? No matter what covers a lot of ground. We will accept lawful, constitutionally supported, free and fair election. Yes, we will all accept that. If they wanted to be honest, they would ask it that simply, and they would get a very, very simple answer. But that's not good for clickbait propaganda. And I think Rubio is absolutely right. They should start asking Democrats, will you accept it no matter what? Or should we expect to see flipped over cop cars and towns burned down to the ground on election night? I think we all know the answer to that, but that's just my take, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. And if you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.